Yo, Elliot. So we got a question from our friend Martin, who goes on to describe how a friend of his is suffering from an eating disorder for many years. He says that when she's under stress with school, her job, earning a living, and has also absolutely no free time, she tends to overeat. And it seems she's eating to the point where she's, gorged and she wants to vomit. He goes on to explain that she's a beautiful girl. She's been seeing an expert. She's trying to do some different things to deal with this overeating problem, which is starting to ruin her life. Martin recognizes that I'm not an expert in this area, but just wondering if I had any perspective to share with him so that he could support his friend. So yeah, I really appreciate you sending me this question, and no, I'm not an expert, but I will give you a perspective. Very first thing that I want you guys to recognize is that everything below your neck has a brain that's just as powerful and important as the brain that's in our head, right? And we call this the peripheral nervous system. It's where the central nervous system drops down into the body via the spinal cord and extends itself into our organs and into our muscular system, innervates all of the organs. The thing is that with that portion of the nervous system, we've got a mechanism called the autonomic mechanism, automatic. It's also called the vegetative nervous system, that takes care of a lot of stuff that the head brain doesn't have to think about. It beats our heart, it grows our hair, it digests our food, it creates babies, it creates sperm, it does all the things that you don't have to think about. And in fact, it's doing 1 billion times more than what you're doing within your own head. The thing is that old brain, it's also considered an extension of the old brain, or the medulla complex, right, of the skull portion of the brain. That old brain, if it's not honored properly, will revolt. It will rebel against the imposing forces. So if you're living, as we typically do in contemporary societies, under the stress of lack of sleep, financial worries, relationship problems, and just a general feeling of angst grows about the body because we sense that we're not living naturally, that creates pain in the body, right? We notice this pain as anxiety, we notice this pain as muscular discomfort, and it's all a manifestation of the inability to breathe deep, right? And this happens because the peripheral nervous system, like I said, extends itself into the organs, the lungs, and into the muscular system, and it will create tension. It will create muscular armoring throughout parts of our torso, throughout our entire body. You'll notice if you just calm down for a moment and just take notice that you've got tension in different areas of your body. So that tension needs to be released. If it's not released through cathartic methods, like I do, the bioenergetics that you see me doing, yelling, making deep sounds, deep breathing, using some of the stretching exercises I've showed you in other videos, and I suggest you look at now. If it is not released properly, there's a proper way to release it, the nervous system will drive the individual to find ways to sort of appease it. And what she's discovered is that food appeases the pain in the body. So every time she's eating and stuffing herself, gorging herself, she's appeasing the primal nature of her nervous system, her peripheral nervous system. She's appeasing the body, although the mind is confused and revolts against that as well. The mind is like, oh, I'm getting fat, I shouldn't be doing this is terrible. And in a way it is. The problem is not the food that she's eating. The problem is not the act of stuffing herself. The problem is what's causing the muscular tension and the neurotic holding patterns throughout the body, that she has to deaden it or appease the animal with the food. So what I'm going to invite you to look at and share with her, and this is by no means all exclusive. There are multiple different ways that this could be approached, but this is from the best of my experience I could share with you. She's got to learn how to break up the neurotic holding patterns, break up the tension in the body. We all have it, although it's very unconscious in most of us. The first and best way to do that is to use two videos that I've shared with you, my bioenergetic warm-up routine. If she's not exercising, she needs to exercise, and she needs to start with this one, because this warm-up routine, and I'll try my best to remember to link it up, but if not, you guys can search my channel. This warm-up routine is designed to open up the extra respiratory muscles and give the person the ability to breathe deeper. The second video, which is just as important, and you should use both, is my Truth About Deep Breathing video, which I introduce you to the bioenergetic stool, which is the most powerful tool that I've experienced in opening up the extra respiratory muscles, opening up the torso, and in particular, if she's stuffing herself, that means there's probably a lot of tension right here. If she's stuffing food in her mouth, she probably gets a release of tension in the jaw and neck. And I teach you in that video how to release the tension in the jaw and the neck, and then subsequently throughout the entire diaphragm, down into your stomach, down into your pelvic floor, so that you can breathe deep and release the tension that's the root of why she's making the decisions she's making with regard to food. So hopefully that's helpful to you. It's probably a brand new perspective, one that no one's ever shared with you or her. You know, she's been going to doctors, but it's something you might want to try. And if you find that this is leading towards some sort of result, come back or look at my Facebook wall or go to my Pinterest, where I share all my resources, all the books, where I get these ideas, and you can further develop your understanding so that you can help your friend and help yourself. That's it, man. Keep growing stronger. Talk to you next time.
Yo, Elliot.